a roll of paper on feeding the 5,000 fucking trains here.
Yeah, you're talking trains now. I have to change gears.
Yeah, okay. Making progress.
Yes. So tell us what you're going to be working on here.
Oh, I'm going to incorporate some of my talents into making this area match another part of the area that we worked on earlier. And with a little skill, I should be able to adapt the two of them to look alike. And if not, I'm going to have to either redo this or redo that. This is smaller, so I think this is going to get the... Okay, so you count to 50 backwards, and wait for this to dry, keeping your fingers out of the glue. That should probably do it. Okay.
Again, I have...
Scraper. Oh, I have my big file rasp, okay, number 500 or something, made in China, okay?
Of course.
So once this is sufficiently glued down, we do a little rasping to rough up the styrofoam, keeping your fingers out of the way. And usually you have a goal in mind of what you want it to look like. However, Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. So you work at it a little at a time and see what happens.
Live.
So, you don't want this to look like a mountain. However,
Why wouldn't you want it to look like a mountain?
because it doesn't have a peak to it. All mountains have a peak to it.
Okay, good.
So,
Know your geology.
101.
All right.
And it's going to require a vacuum cleaner for cleanup. And no matter what you have in your mind's eye, by the time you're done, Mother Nature doesn't necessarily cooperate. In this particular case, I've got to cut this a little bit. In my possession, a Boy Scout knife, or something similar. So we do a little shaping, keeping our fingers out of the way. Okay. Now we're back to the scraping part. And because there's going to be a few holes and odd places, we cover our errors with vegetation.
Very good.
That's one reason why you plant trees. It covers all of your problems. Okay, so after I've done the heavy work, I've got a piece of sandpaper that heavy duty. It's made in England.
Oh, not China.
Oh, not China. Okay, so now we're going to come back and take all the coarseness out. Otherwise, it'll look like boulders here. And we kind of fine tune what we've done, which we've done over on the other side. This is the last effort before we put a paint job on it. So after I get this part, I have to talk to Kurt to see if he approves of what we've done here.
All right,
And if he does, then we continue with the paint job.
okay, well, let's bring him in, okay?
Now let's bring him in.
Okay, let's take a look. What do you think?
Is that too high? Or should we drop it down a little bit?
What do you think?
Well, it's probably matches our high spot over there, which the rail line has come through an obvious high spot, and they've cut it down for the train to be level.
Yeah.
So having it a little high
I agree.
gives the indication of it used to go that way.
Yeah, so I would leave it the way it is. I
Okay.
like that. Good explanation. You sold me.
Okay. So after using my sandpaper, we're ready to paint.
Wow, just like that. You don't have to wait for this to dry, huh?
Nope, but we do need to vacuum.
Okay, well, let me grab the vacuum.
Okay. Okay, we're ready. Here we go. Let it all disappear.
Even the background music you got.
It's pretty imperative that we get it all, otherwise the paint job will reflect a bad image if we don't get all this vacuumed up.
Okay, so
Okay.
why do you have to pick it all up?
Well, one of the reasons we vacuum is because when we put the paint on there, anything that's left over laying around will stick on here with the paint,
Yeah,
and it'll ruin the paint job.
yeah.
So the object is to get things as clean as possible. Notice we don't have any hair on here or anything that would inhibit a nice paint job.
Yep.
And we've allowed for our train to come by without rubbing on anything.
Good, that's a very good.
Hopefully. So take a car and
Let me grab one.
coast it by there and see to it that we don't scrape anything.
Okay, let's
Because they're
see.
not heavy enough.
Correct.
Hasn't Rob or
Just-
I think my dad mentioned something about that too.
No, we got to make a little adaptation here.
Okay, that's why you test. Test 2.
Now we're going to adapt it a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
We made our second adjustment here, and I think we'll do fine. Now, maybe a little bit on the corner here. We're probably good there.
Okay. I think that'll do it.
Okay. Or two up here.
Yeah, I saw that.
A little styrofoam in the engine is probably bad for the engine. A couple gaps in here. So once again, a little vegetation is going to cover up some of the problems there.
Okay.
So we're going to use a paint. I use an acrylic. An oil-based melts the styrofoam, so we use water-based. And I use all the same company, so I know exactly what colors to expect. There's only about 20 shades of black, and I don't want to deal with 20 different shades, so I always use the same stuff over and over.
Because you know it works.
Yeah. So the raw umber, put a little on there, and then we give a little water to it. And in the process of drying out, the styrofoam shrinks, and when it does, it causes you to have to put a second coat of paint on here to cover up the yellow that's exposed because of the shrinkage.
Interesting.
So I do my best to cover it the first time, knowing that I'm going to have to do a second application anyway.
When you do the second application, do you do a full, or do you just kind of spot check it over the parts that are exposed?
A little of each,
Yeah.
depending. And of course, with the high humidity, it takes about a day for it to really shrink up. And during the winter time, low humidity, I can repaint it in several hours. Notice that I dab, and dabbing back and forth, it gets into all the crevices. But if you just swipe it like this, Notice we don't get into the crevices.
Yeah.
So once again, a little more paint. A little more water. And back to work. And the paint soaks up into the styrofoam because styrofoam is porous. And in doing so, it hardens up the styrofoam to some degree. Notice I said some degree, not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
However, it'll stiffen up the styrofoam a little bit. And if I really want the styrofoam to be hard, I put Elmer's glue on here, like the paint, spread the Elmer's glue around, and it soaks into the styrofoam and becomes quite hard.
Do you do that after the before you paint or after the first?
No, before you paint.
Before you paint. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I've never tried doing it afterwards. It might work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now this is the hard part. You ready?
Ready. Oh yeah, that hyperventilation.
Anything? Oh, yeah, we got a crack over here.
Okay, see, that technique works.
No cracks allowed. Cracks illegal.
Try not to get any paint on his road. Oops, on his road work. A little
As you
oversight
say,
there.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
enough is enough. We're good until next time.
Okay. Okay, Marcus, we got a little burnt umber, or raw umber, excuse me, some white. There they are in there. Gonna mix those up with a little water and finish up the job over here. Okay, this is where it is. I'm gonna try to make it look like this. So let's give it a try, see what happens. Okay, let's see if I can make this look like Marcus. Yeah, ooh, looks like it needs to be a little bit more whiter. Now this is not burnt umber, it's raw, which is, it's not as dark. So what do you think? Do you like it? Does it look like it's similar? So I'll add a little bit of bushes and some grass and see what happens. So see you next step. Okay, that's needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but what do you think? After it dries, I'll take one last shot at it, and we've got a finished scene here. Just have to finish up those parking lot lines, and then we'll be done. So I think I'll go ahead and publish this, and then maybe do some pictures of the end result.